congratulations to Gopu and team for so many achievements in terms of market share, in terms of being the #1 SUV. Picture is growing very rapidly, and I was talking to our team here, and 77 fuel stations in Hyderabad itself is a big number. It is even higher than many North Indian cities, which talks about CNG infrastructure. And many more stations are about to come in next quarter or next 2 to 3 quarters. I'm sure this market is going to explode in terms of CNG penetration. And what better context to launch Altroz iCNG, which is going to redefine the CNG industry in India. Post that, whatever we have done, we have lived up to the promise of this philosophy. We have introduced many new brands in last 3 years, be it Altroz, be it Harrier, be it Safari, or be it India's first crossover SUV, Tata Punch. All of these have got phenomenal response from the market, and many of these brands, these products are category breakers, or they have redefined the category itself. There are so many things that we have done in last 3 years, and I thought this is a good opportunity to refresh those memories. Let's take a quick look at what has been the journey of New Forever in last 3 years. New Forever philosophy, keeping his requirements, his needs first, his lifestyle first. What usually people call as special editions or limited editions, but we internally call dark range, is evident from the fact that more than 50% of the sales of Harrier and Safari thought that the dark range, the dark colors can contribute so much in India, especially when everyone says that India is a hot country. So that is why we say dark edition is not a color. It is an attitude, it is a lifestyle. Post that, we also introduced Jet Edition, which was all about premium executive lifestyle. And the models that we introduced for Jet Edition was Nexon, Harrier and Safari. For fun-loving, adventurous customers, we introduced Kaziranga range of cars in our entire SUV lineup of Punch, Nexon, Harrier and Safari. We recently introduced Red Dot range in Nexon, Harrier and Safari. And people were curious that how will this range do when we already have a dark range. The Red Dark range was all about flaunt, flamboyance, and it was loud than the word louder. The consumers have shown tremendous love and response for all these editions. Very few manufacturers, or maybe just a couple of them, who have achieved this landmark in India. And the important point to note here is that the last 1 million sales out of this 5 million have come in almost around 18 months only. So we are not just growing, but we are growing at an increasing pace or at a rapid pace. New Forever philosophy has become sort of a buzzword in the industry because it has redefined so many things in the auto category. New Forever philosophy is not about introducing brands or special editions, but it is also about how to tap the market potential. With the introduction of this philosophy, we have seen a remarkable turnaround in Tata Motors' journey. The market share has grown from 4.7% to almost 14% now in last 2.5-3 years. The volumes have jumped from 12,500 in Q1 of 2020 to almost 1.35 lakh in the last quarter. I have not seen anyone growing at this pace, and especially when your base is also very large. This is one of the turnaround where everyone is talking about what Tata Motors has done. And at this point of time, at this moment, I would like to thank all our dealer partners as well as media friends who have always supported us to achieve many more milestones. With this, the gold standard. The gold standard not just in terms of campaign, but in terms of design. The sleek and aerodynamic design, a head-turner design. Gold standard in terms of performance. Gold standard in terms of driving dynamics. And the gold standard in terms of safety. Altroz was the first hatchback of India to score 5-star global NCAP safety rating, becoming India's safest hatchback. Many people thought that these big gadgets and safety is only about bigger cars. We were confident that this is not about big cars, but every car can be made safe provided we have right tools and we have right mindset to design these cars. Altroz is one of the benchmark which proves that if you are really keen about safety in India, you can design safer cars. 1.2 liter petrol, 1.2 liter turbo for drive enthusiasts, as well as 1.5 liter diesel engine. Altroz is the only hatchback in India to offer diesel powertrain. And again, couple of quarters back, or maybe last year, everyone thought that diesel engines are not viable for smaller vehicles and they are viable only for bigger cars. We were very clear in our mind that let consumers decide. If there are a set of consumers who want to drive diesel, if they love the drivability of diesel, we are going to offer the diesel powertrain as well. And which is why, with the use of advanced technology, we are offering Altroz diesel, which is compliant to all the regulatory requirements, including the BS6 Phase 2 norms. Many OEMs thought that there will be no market for diesel in India, but the consumers have given their verdict that there is a big market of diesel cars in India, and that's where Tata Altroz stands out. Last year, which is again a testimony to the promise that we have made with Altroz that we are not going to product which is Altroz iCNG. A product which consumers never thought that they will get boot space in a CNG car. And I'm sure when you see this car after the launch or when any consumer sees this car, the only thing he's going to say is, OMG, it's CNG. Technology and OMG in terms of features. Let's take a quick look at some nobody else has been able to deliver in India. When we were talking to consumers about the requirement of boot space and many consumers talking about it's not possible to go out on a weekend trip on a CNG car because there is no boot space.
The seat quality and all. They have given this cloth. What is this? But at the rear they have fully foldable. Here. తీయదా గురుగారు?
కొంచెం
తీయదా? ఇప్పుడు ఎలా
లాక్కున్నట్టుంది. బ్యాక్ సైడ్ లాక్కున్నట్టు సార్.
Launched Altroz iCNG in Hyderabad, and it's a category breaker, category disruptor product. What we are introducing today is something which has never been introduced in India. Altroz iCNG with a lot of boot space and a lot of interesting features in the car. India's first CNG car to offer voice assist sunroof. If you look at the entire proposition of Altroz iCNG, it is all about offering the much needed, much required boot space in the car. Currently, most of the CNG cars that you see in India doesn't offer a good boot space, practical boot space, and that's where Tata Altroz kicks in. The twin cylinders are below the luggage area to offer the much needed boot space for the consumers.
Now you have the only two models you have in iCNG. So now this is the third one you are adding. So how much portfolio in your sales point of view? I mean, right now you two models having 40% of sales. I think.
Correct.
So adding of this one, so how much it will be?
So we already are offering Tiago and Tigor iCNG, which are contributing to almost 40% of our sales. And I'm sure, with this model, we are going to see a good increase in the demand of CNG cars in the market. And like I said earlier, let consumers decide which model they want to do and how much volume that we get from this.
So same model, I mean same price point of view. One more your competitive car also introduced that CNG model. So do you feel that the price range which you mentioned is a bit of higher than that car? So how do you see that? I mean, the car is value not.
See, I can't talk about any other car. What we are going to talk
Pricing
about
point,
is
you can
about
specifically mention about the
we,
price point of
I mean,
each and every
see, Altroz CNG, the proposition of Altroz iCNG is different and very clear that this car offers you boot space, which is not there in any other category. And I think we are confident that this proposition will do very well with the consumer requirements, consumer thinking.
Can we expect few more models in this iCNG technology?
Sorry, I'll not take this question because this is leading question and we are heading into quarterly results, so I can't take this.
Thank you, sir.